What is going on, Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition. And join me today as I take a look at the Wonder Woman by Gail Simone Omnibus from DC Comics. So please stay tuned. Okay, so here we have Wonder Woman by Gail Simone Omnibus. It is an all-in-one, meaning that there won't be a volume 2 because this is everything that Gail Simone wrote for Wonder Woman, with the exception of one thing, and I completely understand why it can't be reprinted, at least by DC. Looking at the spine here and then the back. The book retails for $75, by the way. Came out about a week and a half ago. I was just waiting on my shipment to get here, so here it is. Really quick before we go any further, I want to talk about where it fits in, because I know I'm going to be asked. So this storyline fits in right after Infinite Crisis. After Infinite Crisis, we got the relaunch of Wonder Woman. So there's this book right here, who is Wonder Woman by Alan Heinberg. And then eventually Jodi Picoult took over the run, which led into the Amazon's Attack crossover event. And yes, these three books ended up setting a new status quo for Wonder Woman, and the stories in these were okay at best. But along came Gail Simone to save the day. Let's take a look at it without the dust jacket. By the way, the book that I was talking about that cannot be reprinted in here because of copyrights is Conan and Wonder Woman. And it was back during the years when Conan was published by Dark Horse. And now it's under Marvel, so probably not going to see that reprinted anytime soon, at least in omnibus format from DC or Marvel. Let's get this open and talk about it. Okay, so here we have black bookend pages, Wonder Woman by Gail Simone Omnibus. Here's the table of content, or the credits rather, sorry, of all the creators behind this, including Nicola Scott, who provided the collection cover. And before we go any further, here are all the people behind the collected editions that put this book together, like Jeb Woodard and Erica Rothberg. There is a introduction here by Mercedes Lackey. Now, we kick off this run right here. So as I was saying earlier, the other books were okay. I think Alan Heinberg came in with some good ideas, but just the execution wasn't that well done because there was delay after delay with his script. Eventually, I think Jodi Picoult's first issue came out before Alan Heinberg even finished it, and they had to finish it in an annual. And again, it was restarting the history of Diana, and some ideas in there that actually Gail Simone ended up using during this run right here. The run kicks off with Terry Dodson, who did draw the previous issues with both Alan Heinberg and Jodi Picoult. And eventually Bernard Chang takes over the book for a little while, and then Aaron Lopresti. And let's get to some of this artwork. Here's Terry Dodson, but let's get to some of this. Here's Bernard Chang. Here we go. Let's get to Aaron Lopresti and talk about his artwork here. Because Aaron Lopresti was a guy that did some Marvel comics that I was reading at the time. Mainly New Excalibur, that was it. Excalibur and then New Excalibur for Marvel Comics. And his art never really stood out to me. It wasn't until this run right here. That's Bernard Chang. But let's look at Aaron Lopresti again. Here we go. It wasn't until this run right here that I was like, oh, no, wait, this guy can actually draw some badass scenes. Whether it's fight scenes or character designs, but he just makes it look really epic. And that Conan Wonder Woman miniseries, I know it's not collected in here, his art is just so top notch. But yes, he can draw some epic storytelling. And of course, that is helped by Gail Simone. Now, what is collected in here? Well, this collects Wonder Woman 14 through 44. Like I said, that is after Infinite Crisis, so in 2008, when the series restarted. And then they went back to their original numbering system, so number 600. And then Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman number 1 is collected in here. I think that one has artwork by George Perez, if I'm not mistaken. The book has 816 pages altogether, and again, retails for $75. Wanted to highlight this awesome artwork here by Aaron Lopresti. Like I said, an artist that really didn't stand out to me until he was on this book. Now, Gail Simone really made this dull comic book because I really wasn't enjoying it. up until this run. Now, we've had some great writers on Wonder Woman. We've had Greg Rucka, we've had Brian Azzarello, but Gail Simone's run doesn't really get talked about an awful lot, mainly because those trade paperbacks and standard size hardcovers have been out of print for years. So for a lot of people that collect only collected editions, you know, they've missed out on those stories. That is the, what is it? The Annie comic, that's what it was called. It was a line of anime influence toys, and that's what they're looking at. They're looking at a toy, and it wasn't a toy, I'm sorry, statues, PVC statues. Let's keep going here. But yeah, she was able to take this character, this really dull comic book that I'm sure a lot of the editors were like, what are we going to do with this character? And honestly, I'm not sure why they didn't let her relaunch the run. I realized that she was busy writing Secret Six and Birds of Prey at the time, but I'm not sure why they didn't let her have it from the get-go. I know they were trying to pull in that name, Alan Heinberg, of course, from the TV shows. And he's gone on to do great stuff, but I think back then it was mainly Lost, is what he was known as doing. But yeah, they were trying to draw people with these names, like Jodi Picoult. She was a novelist. So now we have Gail Simone, who was probably just recognized in the comic books. And she did an amazing job of restoring this comic book to the greatness that it should have been from the get-go. Because, I mean, where do you go after Greg Rucka? Greg Rucka, to me, of course, is my favorite run. But this is up there. When I did a video, oh man, it's probably been about 2 or 3 years now, on must-read Wonder Woman graphic novels, I completely suggest this run right here, the Gail Simone run, because it's, to me, top-notch storytelling. Flip a little more through here. Actually, let's look here in the back. Yeah, right here. This is some of the stuff with George Perez, where she is reunited with some of those classic George Perez characters. There's a lot of nostalgia here because there's a lot of characters that George Perez introduced during his run on Wonder Woman. And for a lot of us fans, it's nice to see a little closure within those stories. I believe this is from the Ethan Van Sciver. Yeah, this is that one shot. There's another extra story back here. And let's look in the very back for these extras, the bonus section. So you have variants. It's Michael Golden, Aaron Lopresti right here. Frank Quietly. Can't say I'm a fan of that one right there. No, Joshua Middleton. Yeah. I love that angle. It's so crazy. Marcos Martin. Really like that one too. I don't know. I guess the angle on that one I really enjoy, but for some reason don't really like that Frank Quietly one. Or I guess some people would be like, it looks the same. It's just an awkward looking face. I don't know, but that Joshua Middleton really speaks to me. Bernard Chang cover here. And then, of course, the cover process. Damn, the Dodsons. And here is, of course, where you can find the rest of these creators, including Matt Ryan, who inked a lot of this book. Let's talk about this binding, because I'm sure you could probably tell that it is sewn binding, but the best part about this is that much needed eye when you have a book that is over 800 pages. And yes, of course, sewn binding helps. It does have a little bit of excess glue down here, but honestly, it's not really keeping the book shut. It opens quite nicely. Let's look here towards the end to show you what I'm talking about. Some of these later pages, for example, and towards the front, and you can probably tell it's very, very, very little, if any, gutter loss because of that sewn binding and because of the flex of that inner spine. To me, this is one of the best Wonder Woman runs, and I can go into detail about it. Maybe I'll do an old reader, new reader with Maddie one day, and we can review it then. But for now, I will say, yeah, this is a great run with great artwork, bringing a character back to where she needed to be, back at the top, at least in the top 3, right? Up there with Superman and Batman as best-selling DC Comics. Now, if you're interested in the book, and because it's already out, you can purchase it from cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. And check out their bargain bin for even greater deals up to 90% off cover price. And for you Minties, Cheap Graphic Novels is running a special promotion. If you're a first-time customer, let them know you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. Now, that was the contents of the book, the build of the book, and the page count. Let me know in those comments down below if you've picked this up, if you're waiting for your copy, if you've already read it, and wanted to upgrade to this oversized format. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. Ring that bell for notifications. We can be found on Patreon and on Redbubble, and all of that is in the description down below. And remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be Near Mint.